Okay, so this video is going to be on factoring. Factoring. Very good, factoring. So, factoring, and we're talking about specifically factoring trinomials, or what we're dealing with here are quadratic expressions. They're quadratic because they have some variable, in this case, that we'll be talking about in this problem, it's x, that is raised to the second power. Anytime you see that, it's a quadratic expression or equation, depending on what you're dealing with. Alright, so the one we're going to start with here is, let's do x squared plus 12x plus 32. Now, anytime you're factoring a quadratic expression or trinomial expression, trinomial because it's got 1, 2, 3 individual parts, you know that, or you should know, that we're going to break this down into binomial pairs, which means we're going to have x plus something times x minus something, or vice versa. So your first clue should always be you should set up two pairs. It should always be an x and another x. Because you know you're going to have two x's because you've got x squared right here at the top. Pretty simple. So that's where we get started. Now, in this case, since we had, I'm going to rewrite this a little bit here. Make sure we can see that plus sign there. In this particular quadratic expression, we have two plus signs. So anytime you see two plus signs, you know that the signs inside the parentheses are going to be plus. Simple, straightforward, not a lot to figure out there. Now, of course, you've got to come up with what in the world goes in these two spots right here. What fills in these little blanks right here? You do that, you find out what the factors are. Let me erase this guy right here. You find out what the factors are of this last term right here, that 32. That's going to be your key to finding what goes in these little spots right over here. So let's think about the factors of 32. Let's write those out here real quick. So, of course, we have 1 and 32. Those are factors of 32. Let's do, we know that 2 and 16, 4 and 8, those are factors. All those are factors of 32. So here's another thing you have to remember about the 32 at the end of the expression here, and then the 12 here. You need to know that the 32 is always the product of these two numbers right here in red. Those two that go right there. Right there. The numbers that go right there, the 32 is the product. The 12 is the sum of the two numbers right here. So your job is you've got to find the factors that when added together, in this case, when they add together, they equal the sum of 12 and a product of 32. And since they're both going to be positive, then it makes it real easy. As you can already tell, pretty simply, we've got the two factors that work are going to be 4 and 8, because 4 plus 8 is 12, and 4 times 8 is 32. So your binomial pairs in this case are x plus 4 and x plus 8. There you go. You have it. You have now factored this original trinomial into a binomial pair of x plus 4 and x plus 8, and that's factoring.